Good evening, everyone. Welcome. My name is Heather Gain, and on behalf of Harvard Bookstore, I'd like to welcome you to tonight's event with Dr. Izzeldin Abuelaish. He's with us tonight to discuss his book, I Shall Not Hate, A Gaza Doctor's Journey on the Road to Peace and Human Dignity. In I Shall Not Hate, Dr. Abuelaish portrays everyday life in the Gaza Strip and details how he came to be the first Palestinian doctor on the staff of an Israeli hospital. He describes the heartbreaking losses he and his family have endured and how those tragedies have informed his continued and astonishing efforts to build peace between Israelis and Palestinians. He also strikes the important distinction between anger and hate. Dr. Abuelaish is known internationally as the Gaza Doctor and has been an important figure in Israeli-Palestinian relations for years and heralds improved public health care and education for women as a means to achieve peace in the Middle East. He's a physician and infertility expert who was born and raised in the Gaza Strip. He has studied medicine and public health in Cairo, London, Italy, Belgium, and right across the street at Harvard University. He now lives with his family in Toronto, where he's associate professor at the School of Public Health at the University of Toronto. In 2010, Dr. Abuelaish was awarded the Mahatma Gandhi Peace Prize of Canada and was nominated for the Nobel Peace Prize. He is also the founder of the Daughters for Life, a foundation which provides scholarship to those seeking to improve and create programs and services to support women and girls. I hope he will tell us more about the foundation later in his talk. I'm honored to welcome Dr. Abuelaish back to Cambridge. Everyone, with thanks for your patience, please join me in welcoming Dr. Abuelaish.
It's good to be back to Boston, that I used to be here, and every year. It has many meanings for me. And I remembered the commencement day, 10th of June, 2004, when they asked me they wanted to raise Palestine flag as a graduate. It was a minute or a moment of happiness, but you wanted your beloved ones to share those happy moments. I was alone. And later on to ask or to write from Jabalia camp to Harvard. I said, why not? What is the difference? Am I lacking an organ, an eye, a hand, or a leg? I am equal to others. And everyone can be here, can reach Harvard or any other place. I didn't find it different from other places, or the students are different from others. It's you who makes the difference. And that's the challenge. For me, I don't believe, or I don't know the word impossible in life. Everything I planned in my life, I succeeded to achieve. And everyone can do the same. My book that I wrote, it's not my book. It's everyone's thinking and ideas. I thought of writing this book a few years ago, just to write about my experience as a Palestinian child who was raised and lived in poverty, that one day you have a home, you have a land, and then a sudden to be a refugee, to be in a camp, having nothing, to wait for humanitarian aids, and succeeded to challenge all those man-made challenges Because it was man-made. It is not from God. It's a human being who did that. And still, in the 21st century, it's the same. Nothing changed. But what can I say to you? The first message, being man-made, this is the hope. That you, as people, as a human being, you can challenge all those man-made challenges. Those people who are doing bad in this world, of not accepting it. And to stand strong in their faces and to say no, enough is enough. Our parents as Palestinians were behind that after they lost everything, especially the mothers. The Palestinian mother, for me, and my mother, to whom I am in debt, and every mother, she is the hero. The mother is the one who sacrifices and gives. They were not educated, but realized one thing, that it's time to invest in their children. And through education, they lost everything, but they didn't lose hope in their children. That's why I thought of writing this book, but everything has its time. And the time of writing this book came after an awful tragedy. I faced in my life, even my life, I can say it's a tragedy. I never tasted, as hundreds of millions in this world, I never tasted the childhood. But the most difficult time in my life was in 4 months period. And number 16 will never be erased from my mind and the mind of humanity. 16th of September 2008 is the day when I lost my wife of an acute disease. I was blessed from her to have 6 lovely, beautiful, bright daughters and 2 sons. Those daughters that each one would love to have them. They were armed with the love. Their teachers were fighting to have them in their classes. They never succeeded, less than 97%. I can write books about them. I thought it is the end of the world, because I fully believe children must be raised with their mom. And the role of mothers in raising the children. But my daughter Bisan, who was the eldest, she said, count on God and on our support. You must continue your work. Because I was the first Palestinian doctor to practice medicine in an Israeli hospital. I believed in it. Medicine has one face, the human face. To give, to save lives. And that's the message others to learn, to spread this human message of saving lives and helping others. We don't treat patients according to name, religion, ethnicity. We want to give. And this is the second message for everyone, especially leaders in this world, to practice. What do we practice within the borders of the hospitals? I continued my work, but the unexpected happened in a minute of craziness. 16th of January 2009, 4:45. 4 months later, when an Israeli tank shell, to hit my house, killing 3 daughters, niece, and severely wounding others. For nothing they did. And there was no reason to be killed. Bisan, who was 20 years old, who was supposed to get her BA few months later. Bisan was the mother, sister, friend. Bisan, at the age of 14, was the first Palestinian girl I sent to peace camps to know others. And when she came, she said, I found how similar are we. At the age of 14, Bisan said, to meet terrorism with terrorism or violence with violence doesn't solve any problem. Mayar, who was 15 years old, and I was happy that she planned to follow my path, to study medicine. At least one of my children will save and help. Aya, who was 14, who planned to be a lawyer. Because my daughters, they were able to plan, and they have their father to help them. For me, I dreamed. And I can tell you, and everyone can dream, and the dreams are close to reality. You can occupy, you can imprison anyone, but you can't prevent him from dreaming. And it's important for us to dream. My niece Noor, who was 17, I don't want anyone to see what have I seen. Seconds after I left their room, just seconds, less than 5, the first hit came. I didn't believe it. For 2 weeks of craziness, I was as informal correspondent with my Israeli colleagues and friends to tell them about what is happening in Gaza. Where is Bisan? Where is Mayar? Where is Aya? I can't recognize them. They became parts, spreading everywhere in their room, with decapitated heads, drowning in a pool of blood. But as a believer, as a Muslim, with deep faith, and it's important to have faith, I said, this tragedy is for good, and must be for good, because at that time, a human being as you, they became numbers. Gazans became numbers. 100, 150, 200,000, as if they have no names, faces, hopes, plans, or dreams. It's shame. Human being to be numbers. I was blessed to be a medical doctor, to think of saving lives, and to think of the future and those who are severely wounded. My daughter Shada, my niece Ghaida, my brothers. And the first message of support came from my son, who is 12 years old. I started to look at him, to think of his future. Is he going to be crazy? To be violent? To be what do we call extreme? And we have to ask ourselves, who made him violent or extreme? We are not born violent or extreme. The environment, and we push our children to be violent. Violence is not a disease, it's a symptom. And we must search for the disease behind those symptoms. He looked at me while I was screaming. Why are you screaming and crying? You must be happy. Happy for what? Your sisters are killed. You must be happy. My sisters are happy there. They are with their mom. She asked for them. That's the 12 years old child. To take responsibility and to think in that. I said I have no way. Just to move forward. And to get beyond the pain and the suffering. I looked at my daughter Shada with her eye on her cheek. And they were transferred to the hospital where I am working in Tel Aviv. At the same time of shelling the house, it's God's mercy. It's for a cause. I was supposed to be interviewed live by the Israeli TV. And now I called them, and it was broadcasted live to open the eyes of the international community, the Israeli public, and the Palestinians, and everyone who was watching it, who was watching the bleeding of other human beings without doing anything to stop it. It needs to be stopped, not to negotiate. It opened their eyes. The second day was announced unilateral ceasefire by the Israeli Prime Minister. This satisfied me that the blood of my daughters made a difference in others' lives. It saved others. But we don't want to be killed to save others. The most holy thing in the universe is a human being and the freedom. Saving one, you save the world. Killing one, you kill the world. And the freedom. All of us were born free. And we must run a normal, a free and happy life. No one should be killed. No one should pay any cost to get his freedom. Freedom is free for everyone. And I can't be free as long as others are not free. My freedom is from yours. And that's what do we need. It's shame. We are in the 21st century. And still, the Palestinian nation and the Tibet are occupied. It's time to feel your freedom. When the Palestinians and others in this world are free from oppression, occupation, sickness, poverty, and unemployment, that's the freedom we lost. When I thought of writing it and the title, why I wrote, and the title, I Shall Not Hate. Because in my life, as I said, all of my life is a tragedy. And if I wanted to write and to list who did bad things to me, or behind my suffering, the list will be endless. And each of you, you face suffering. And if anyone is going to write what others are doing, we will be living in hate, in an ocean of hate. And I don't want, as I lived as a victim of hate, of suffering, not to be a victim of hate. The antidote of hate is the one that you plan to hate, to show him that you are not collapsing. You are standing stronger, and you will challenge him by good deeds, because he is not thinking of you. The one you plan to hate, he is not thinking. He is sleeping, he is relaxing. The antidote of hate and revenge is success. Hate is a poison, is a toxin. It's a chronic disease. You will never recover from it. Don't allow it. Stand stronger. Feel the anger. Feel the outrage. And direct that in a positive way to challenge others of not accepting what is happening in this world. The antidote, as I said, it's success. My daughter Shada, who was 17, studying day and night to be one of the first 10 in Palestine in the high school. She studied on candles, with suffering, deprived of water during 3 weeks. She was studying of the war. At the start of the year, she lost her mom. 4 months later, she lost 3 sisters, and she was severely wounded. She spent 4 months in the hospital. She lost the sight in one eye, but didn't lose the compass and direction. She started to be trained to write by her left hand because her right-handed, right fingers were wounded. After 4 months, she went home, determined, I have to go for the exam. With all the difficulties, she did the exam, and the day we moved to Canada, they announced the result. And she succeeded as nothing happened. 96%. And now she's studying computer engineering at the University of Toronto. That's the challenge, not to be drowning in hate and suffering, to challenge those people and to tell them, I will never collapse. I am living and standing. My daughters, 2 weeks before they were killed, I took them to the Gaza beach just to heal from the first tragedy. And they succeeded to see their names in sand 2 weeks before they were killed. Every now and then a wave comes to clean their names, as if they knew they will be cleaned from life. But where are their names now? Their names are written in stone on the tomb. And who can see his name written in stone or metal? Only leaders, big philanthropists, or generals. The normal people can't see their names written in stone or metal. But I swore to God and to my daughters not to relax or rest till I meet them one day. Because I am, as a believer, I believe I will meet them, and I see them talking to me. Don't relax. Don't rest. Our holy souls and the blood must not go waste. Till meet them one day with a gift, bringing them the justice with wisdom and good words. In my life, I am in debt to my mother, my wife, and my daughters. And I fully believe in the role of girls and women. Without my mother, I don't think I will achieve what have I achieved. She pushed me to study from nothing. She doesn't know impossible things. You must go to study. I don't understand if you have or not. And that's what I learned. The word impossible is not in my mind. The only impossible thing I believe in is to return my daughters back. So it's time for women and girls to practice their role. It's not the women's status or women's rights. It's women's role in shaping and deciding for us. Give me 5 women in the history who were behind war. You can't find, but you can find hundreds of men. And we are not competing with each other. We are living to complement each other. When God created us from Adam and Eve, from male and female, not one man and 2 women, 1 to 1, to complement, to work together, to create and to make a difference in this world. It's time for women to take the role and to practice it. I fully believe if they didn't succeed to make it better, they will never make it worse as it is now. A foundation that I established in memory of my daughters, called Daughters for Life. What about other girls in this world who have the same potential as my daughters, but deprived of the resources? Those girls, they should learn and study. And the seeds for this foundation is my daughter's blood and souls. I fully believe a healthy, educated girl and woman will raise a healthy, educated children, husband, family, community, and nation. That's what do we want. And each of us, start the change. Don't blame others. Start by yourself to do something. It's a matter of action, because the patient in the hospital doesn't need words. It's good that we are meeting, talking. It's not a matter of talks. It's a matter of action. And don't underestimate the size of your action. Just to do. And I can tell you the story of a young girl who believed in herself, who believed in saving lives and in acting. She was sitting on the shore when a heavy tide threw hundreds of starfish. As a girl who will be one day a woman, maybe a mother, to save and to give, she thought of them and to throw one by one into water. A man came and overtook that girl and asked, "What are you doing?" She said, I'm trying to save. But there are hundreds. It is not going to make any difference. She was confident. And to show by evidence-based actions, she threw another one and told him it made a difference to that one. And that's what do we need to act. God will never change what is in people till we change what is in our hearts, minds, and souls. To feel connected, to have the impact on others. We lost the happiness because we thought the happiness, I find it here. It's not here. It's with you and others. And for men in this world to understand and to learn where love resides, that we don't find it, but it's close to us. And this poem, which was written in memory of my daughter Bisan, where love resides, in memory of Bisan, I long to touch you, Bisan, one more time, to hug you, to tell you how sorry I am that your mom died. But now, you too are gone. Your smiling face, your gentle way, your softness, your non-judgmental words, your pain for your people, your way of life, your dreams, aspirations, and your hope for peace. Just days before the war, I spoke with your dad. He gave me your phone number. It's still in my car. Every day, I glance at the number, seeing your name, Bisan. I wish I had spoken with you more, but I didn't have the guts. I spoke with you 3 days before you died. I told you that I am praying for your safety. My prayers were not heard through the shelling, the bombing, the Qassams, the smoke. I feel I have been betrayed by God, by my country, by the cruelty of humanity, by the warmongers, by those who think violence is the solution. And with all of this, I have been given a gift to have spent 6 weeks with Shada, Izzeldin, and Ghaida. I heard no words of revenge, no hatred. I heard no anger. I heard the deep belief that peace is possible, even with this enormous loss. I have been strengthened from their strength. I am more determined from their determination. I am more at peace from their peacefulness. Bisan, forgive me for not being able to save you from my own people. Forgive me for giving you hope that peace is possible, and then taking that dream from you. You will always be my symbol of hope, peace, and mostly gentleness. Your dad shared the dream with me days after you died. He came into a room full of men, and there you were sitting amongst them. He asked you, "Why are you sitting here, Bisan?" You know it is not acceptable in our society. You answered, "All is fine now, Dad. I am happy and well. I can be here now among the men where I am needed. May no other woman need to die in order to be able to influence the men as you have, Bisan. May we women be heard and heeded, and may the men in this world get the chance to know from deep within their hearts that this is where the answer lies, in their hearts, where love resides." Dear friends, with all of my heart, I believe in you. I believe that each of us can make a difference in this world. What do we need is to start and smash and destroy the mental and physical barriers. Have hope, have faith, but take action. And that in our life, we have priorities. And the priority is the future. And the future is our children. And we must have leaders who are risk takers and challenging with eyes focused on their nations, on the unemployed, on the uninsured, on the deprived, not an eye on the next election. Let us together, each of us, to take the responsibility and to feel connected and to start to do what can you do. At that moment, you will get the happiness that we lost. And the world, believe me, I see the hope. Because I feel the hope. And we are not allowed to lose hope. Because hope is life. And our children, as I said, they are the future. And they are the hope. And they are the priority. God bless you and thank you. We will start the first project this June to give 35 newly graduate females from 6 countries: Egypt, Jordan, Lebanon, Syria, Palestine, and Israel. Awards. This is the first. And the next coming September, we will have 20 female teachers to come to Canada to get a bachelor in education. To go, we need girls or educators, critical thinking, curriculum development. It's not education, it's the quality of education, to be leaders in education. The female teacher or any teacher, when he teaches or she teaches, she impacts hundreds of children. So we started aiming one day to have a college or university in Gaza Strip for girls and women. We are in the States. Whom do you think represents most of the healthcare providers? Men or women? Whom? Women, 80%. But who decides? So everything is relative. And that's what did I say. It's women's role, not women's status or rights. How many members of the Congress are women? Senates, presidents of universities, Harvard, you are lucky. But what about others? That's what is needed. There is a role, but maybe it is not sufficient. For the people who want to know about Gaza Strip, it's a strip. It's 25 miles long, maybe 5 to 8 miles wide, 360 square kilometers. Living there, 1.5 million. 50% of them are children below the age of 15. Children, 20% are women in their reproductive age. So most of them are women and the children. There is doctors, but it is not. When some people, they think of a human being, we need to give them food. The people are hungry, but hungry for freedom. Freedom of movement. I don't want the food and to live in a palace. I want my freedom and to be homeless. Give me my life. Give me my independence as others. That's what is needed. Because to be independent and to take care of myself, to help myself. And I can assure you, Palestinians, they have the potential to help themselves and to take responsibility, but give them the chance. They helped others. They helped in building other countries, and they can build their country. The woman's role is not going to be alone without the men's support. We are supporting each other and to work together. That's what do we want. And also for the men to understand that women are not a threat to them. Women are helping and giving hand to all. As our children, who raises them? The mother and the father. So we need for one goal to work together and to understand that and to be educated and to get rid of this ego or this fear that we are threatening each other. You are willing to open your eyes, mind, and heart to understand the truth. Are you willing to understand the truth? Great. I didn't want to speak about it. First of all, I said it, and I am sure about every word I say. There was no reason to be killed, and there was nothing there. And you must, and each of us, don't take anything from anyone for granted. Think of it. You are right, you have to ask, why? There may be. I agree with you. And for any story, there is one scenario. Today, now, I came here, I gave a speech, and I left. Can I say, at the same time, I was in another place? I can't say that. I came here to Harvard bookstore at 7 o'clock, from 7 to 8. Full stop. If I said at 7 o'clock, from 7 to 8, one day I said I was at Harvard bookstore. Then I said I was in Huntington. I was the other time I was in Fenway. What are you going to say about me? Please say it. Lying. I will tell you. After they shelled the house, and I know who shelled, they started, I know the Israelis shelled, the Israelis, they said, started to justify. There were snipers at the roof of my house. My daughters and my house is for me and my brothers. I am living in the second floor. And if the roof is the fifth floor, you have the technology to see the snipers, so hit them, kill them. And if you misled them, the first shell and the first hit, why two hits and the same room? It's one room. And it's enough. The second day, it didn't work. The second day, they said there were militants inside the room. I said, yes, those girls were armed with love, with hope, with the plans. It didn't work. The third day, they said there were firing from the surrounding. So please tell us the truth. And the most painful, which is immoral and unethical, and I think you must stand up for that, to say to them, you are lying. Take responsibility about what are you doing. That they took shrapnels from my niece's wound and they examined it, and to say it's from Hamas rockets. It's shame to lie. It took 1 month to investigate what happened, and after 1 month to admit that we shelled the house, the Israelis. Took 1 month. After 1 month, they said it. We shelled it. They were planning to confuse the people, to make them suspicious, as you thought. Maybe maybe here and there, but the truth is like the sun. How long can you hide it? One day the sun will come. After 1 month, it appeared and came. And you must not believe. I think the courage is to take responsibility from the first minute and to say we did it. It doesn't mind for me, what did you say? If it is by mistake or intentionally, the impact is the same. My daughters are killed. I tried to ask for apology, responsibility. And in December, I received an email from my lawyer trying peacefully with ministers, with Knesset members, with the friends, to speak to them. Let us peacefully to apologize, responsibility, and compensation will go for the foundation for girls and women. Thanks God, I don't need. But in December to receive an email that those lovely girls are collateral damage. Collateral damage, it's shame. They're a human being. You must stand for that and to go to defend those girls' rights. And that's why 16th, even after, for Palestinians, there is a statute of limitations. After 2 years, forget the beloved ones. You have no right to ask. That's what is happening, and that's the injustice. That's what is needed from each of us, to be honest with himself, to have the courage, even if I made a mistake, to come to say to anyone, I made a mistake. I apologize for that. I will be valued highly in others' eyes and in myself. That's what is needed, without playing games with words, maybe here, there. Medicine, I learned it. The patient, he has to know. And I tell the patient he needs a treatment. We can't say maybe here and there, treatment yes or no, right or wrong. That's what is needed in this world. The media, I can say, the media plays a dirty role. And at that time, most of the time, each of us sees by one eye, according to what do we want to see. The Palestinians, they see their side. The Israelis, they see their side by one eye, uniocular. And it's our time to see by two eyes, and that the coin has two sides. And even the media, as you said, you have the talent to think if it goes with logic or not. Think of it. It's not holy. It's not Torah or Bible or Quran. It's some people who are thinking as we think. So think of it, and if it goes with logic or not. That's what is needed also from our side. I am not taking it and that's all. And each of us in life, we have our interest. And the media, most of the time, they are looking not for the good stories, for the bad stories. A Palestinian from here who wants to go to help Gazans that you asked, he can't go to Gaza. You as American, not Palestinian, if you are willing to help Gazans, you can't. Even if you go to Tel Aviv, you are not allowed to cross and to go to Tel Aviv. Or even in the airport, if you were asked, where are you going? Are you going to the West Bank? They will be suspicious. Don't go there. Don't go there. So the most important, as I said, it's a freedom. And I can say safety, security, a future of the Israelis is linked to the safety, security of the Palestinians. It's not dependent on the Palestinians. They will never be safe and secure as long as the Palestinians are not safe or secure or occupied. How? We are living together. And our safety, our future is linked together. And we must admit the rights of all to share, not to occupy and to oppress or to dominate. The Israelis, they must get rid of their fear and their ignorance. and to realize that there is a Palestinian partner there. Now, there is no Israeli partner. There is no Israeli partner who is willing to implement and to go for peace. Today, it's shame. You know the settlements. I read it today. The settlements, what do you think of the settlements? It's illegal. It's a threat to the peace process. And the world, the states, the American administration are begging the Israeli ministry to freeze them 3 months and to bribe them with the $3 billion. And they didn't accept. 3 months. And today, the Palestinians, they went to the Security Council. Please decide, the international community. And the American administration, they voted against to support the settlements. What can you say? Are they promoting peace? We must stand up for justice with one standard. Justice has one standard, not double standards. Colors. What is white here is white everywhere. That's what is needed. All of the world, all of the people in this world, their eyes are focused, directed to the White House, where justice and wisdom to prevail, and to have one color. Personally, I would love to see that feasible and achieved as two-state solution according to the international resolutions. Palestinian state within the borders of 1967, East Jerusalem as the capital of Palestine. That's what are we looking for, and we are fighting for that. But I can say to you, this is a theoretical question. As I said, if we can't freeze the settlements for 3 months, how can we achieve this goal? And it's for me, like, because I am obstetrician, it looks like a woman who is coming in labor, screaming of labor pain. And I approach her to ask her, what do you want the baby to be? A baby boy or girl? Which university? To Harvard, Boston, Northeastern? She will curse me to say to me, deliver the baby and save me. The Palestinians are suffering, save them, and finish with the easy things, with the checkpoints, with the freezing the settlements, and get rid of something, show something on the ground that is promising to achieve the two-state solution. Believe me, what is happening now there from the current Israeli government, it's a disaster for the Israelis, for the Palestinians, and for the Americans and international community. They want to trap the Palestinians to go back to violence. And I hope, I pray that Palestinians not to follow that, not to go to violence. Because at the end, all of us are losers. And we learned a lot. Military ways and violence proved its failure, not today. Decades ago, the means of fighting have changed. With what happened in Egypt, it's Facebook, technology, information. That's what do we want. It's not fighting with guns, of killing. Thank you so much.